Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. Although I don't know if this is really necessarily going to be a commentary video. I mean, I guess it's just me talking with B-roll up there, so, you know, it's kind of a commentary video. But the reason it's going to be kind of different today is because I kind of want to start off with a story. Because, honestly, the thing that kind of intrigues me the most, if you haven't caught on, is that the DBD community acts a certain kind of way, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate the way it is. I hate the way it goes about it. I think there's a lot of hypocrisy and strangeness and bizarreness that I don't see in other DBD or other gaming communities that I find very, very awkward and strange and unfair and emotional and bizarre. And that is what I tend to focus on because it's one of those things that I find super intriguing, and I can never really deduce why the DBD community is so strange and intriguing. So yeah, without further ado, I want to tell you a story today. I told it on stream, and they thought it was pretty interesting, and it's unfortunately a true story of the way that somebody judged somebody else in the Dead by Daylight community and why you should not do that. All right, so let me set the scene. I have two friends. One of them is a Twitch streamer, and not a small Twitch streamer either in the Dead by Daylight community. And no, for the sake of keeping things civil and not spreading things as much as possible, I will be remaining nameless of this man, who I unfortunately had the privy of becoming close friends with at a certain point, and then realizing through this story and many other things that perhaps this person was not the best person in the universe, and now I no longer talk to them. For this purposes of this conversation, we're referring to this person as Red. Red is their name. So we're going to be talking about my friend and Red, who is the big Twitch streamer. So I have a friend that I care about a lot who is kind of tangentially in the DBD community. They stream sometimes. They mostly do editing stuff, and that's kind of like how they exist in the Dead by Daylight community. They're sweet. I appreciate them, and I've known them both a long time. So the main thing that my friend likes in terms of Dead by Daylight is WESKER. Whether it's playing WESKER, whether it's editing clips for people for WESKER, whether it's being part of the WESKER community, my friend really, really likes WESKER. That is a thing that, you know, that he likes to do. He likes to play WESKER. He likes to hang out with people who main WESKER, edit clips about WESKER. That is a thing that homie does, which is great, awesome. You do you. Why not anybody? You do you. So Red and my WESKER friend were friends, and they had been friends for a very, very long time. And Red decided one day to drop this little nugget, which, you know, in hindsight, probably should have been a huge red flag. Should have been a tremendous red flag that something was wrong here and that perhaps things were going awry. Red decided during a conversation with my friend to say, and I quote, I'm actually paraphrasing. It's just, and I quote sounds good. My friend Red paraphrasingly said to my friend, you know, I was a little worried about you at first. I know you mained WESKER, and that kind of concerned me. But when I met you and I talked to you, you actually turned out to be a pretty cool person. No, they were not joking. No, there was no kappa implied. No, the homie meant it. With his whole chest, he said, you main a character in Dead by Daylight, so ergo, I assume that you are not a person that is worthy of my friendship. I don't know what he meant by that. Did he imply that maybe my friend was a bad person? Did he imply that my friend was terrible? Did he imply that my friend was, I don't know, something? But there was some sort of very negative connotation that made Red hesitate when it came to becoming friends with my WESKER friend, because he mained WESKER in Dead by Daylight. That's all it took. Apparently, it is a big enough red flag what you main in a video game in terms of real-life closeness and real-life friendship to make those decisions. Apparently, we're going to make decisions in real life based on closeness and platonic friendship based off of who you play in a video game. And this is not the only person that I know that has done this. It was probably the most disappointing because, you know, like I said, I was friends with them for a while, so I, you know, it's kind of ironic that they saw this as a red flag in my friend, but realistically that was a red flag in them that they would judge somebody based off of that. But like, I see this in the Dead by Daylight community a lot. It was obviously most prevalent during Old School Merchant, but people would make judgments on who you were as a person based off of who you play in Dead by Daylight. I don't know how this equates. I don't know how you can make a personal judgment on somebody's personal character. We're not talking like, you know, assumptions of like, well, if you play a certain character, you probably like winning because you're playing top 3. We're not talking just like casual game stuff like that. We're talking like the integrity of another human being's character, like who they are at their core, based off of who they play in Dead by Daylight. How is that a thing? And it happens to this day. It happens all the time. You see it on Twitter. You see it on, you know, down the YouTube comments. You see a lot of this everywhere. And it's just like, how do you make that leap? How do you make that jump? And like I said, I brought this up in Twitch chat today. And we had a pretty cool conversation about it. But one of the things that my friend Stinky said was that, you know, they're making assumptions based off of the way people play, the way certain communities are. Plagues, for some reason, I have encountered, especially on the East Coast, Plagues just like to play like they're in a comp setting. I don't know why. They're always running like almost exactly the comp build that I see comp people play when they bring their Plagues into tournaments. I would say most Plagues I face are sweaty. I feel like a lot of Plague players are sweaty. I would never make a judgment on that Plague player behind the screen's character. Are they a bad person? Are they a good friend? Are they a bad friend? Do they, you know, I don't know. Do they pay their taxes? I don't know. What else makes you not a terrible person? But like, I would never make the assumptions about them as a human being based off of who they play in a video game. That is not something I would do. So why is this a thing? And this is one of those things where I don't think it's kind of unique to Dead by Daylight. I think this is a thing that's in broader gaming, that if you look at somebody playing a certain character in a certain game, you're like, well, you must be morally as a person not great, and I don't know how we make that leap in logic. But it does seem very prevalent in the Dead by Daylight community, especially, like I said, especially in the Skull Merchant era, when no Skull Merchant, before Skull Merchant got nerfed, there was a lot of assumptions that everybody who played Skull Merchant just enjoyed making people miserable, and they were ergo inherently terrible people. So how do we make this leap in judgment? Where does it come from? Is it really just baseless? Because like, if it's really baseless, why do so many people do it? Is it just really like school, like playground bullying? Is that really all it is? It's just like mean girl this, mean girl that, and it's like, it doesn't really have any logic. Because like, that's always my thing. I'm always want to understand. Even if like, I would never do this thing, I would never agree with the reason you're doing it, I want to at least understand where you're coming from. Where did the math add up in your head that because you mean Wesker, you're a bad person? How did your math come up with that equation? How did you enter the math into the equation and that's what it spit out? Friend, Wesker, bad person. How did this add up? Show me your math. Show me your work. I wasn't a math teacher, by the way. I was a social studies teacher. Math was actually my worst subject. Yeah, show me the math. Show me the equation. We do have to do math and economics. Maybe that's where it came from. You do have to do math and economics, and I need to teach you economics, so there you go. Maybe that's where it was. But yeah, where's that math add up? If you guys can help me understand how this leap in logic happens, please, because it's something that's always deeply puzzled me, and especially after the conversation we had today on Twitch, we were kind of drawing blanks on like why that happens and why people do that, besides just, hey, they're mean. And that might be it. It might just be that simple. Maybe we're overthinking. Maybe it's just people are dumb and people are mean. But hey, if you find something deeper or something a little bit more sensical, let me know down in the comments below, because I would actually really like to know why people are the way they are with this. But other than that, we do upload daily, so I will see you tomorrow, friends. But if I do not, I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.